tonight, it's a listener submitted request, and we're going to get into how our lives have changed now that we're famous content creators. Yeah, you and me don't believe that for a second. All right, well, it's next on Live Free and Ham, so stay tuned. Well, hello and welcome to the Live Free and Ham podcast. This is our weekly show where we discuss ham radio topics in New Hampshire, New England, and beyond. And we're thrilled to have you here, whether you're a regular listener or tuning in for the first time, and we appreciate you, and thanks for joining tonight's episode. So let's get into our show. I'm your host, Eric, callsign N1JUR, and I'm with my co-hosts,
Paul, N1OG.
Todd, W1STJ.
All right, cool. Well, as we always like to do and warm you guys up before we get into our featured event, Testing with Todd, we got a few things we'd like to catch up here. As always, please head on over to our storefront at livefreeandham.com/shop. Always check out some of the merch and, all the stuff that we're putting in the store. We got some really cool stuff there that we always have. And then, anything you guys purchase there helps the show and helps us keep this up and running. And, I have to say, we still have a few of the whiskey drams still sitting out there. If you want to grab one, I know I've been saying, you're going to miss out, but I'm telling you, you're eventually going to miss out. So you don't want to wait any longer. Head on over to the store, pick one up, pick a couple up, you won't be, disappointed whatsoever. And it helps support us and the channel. And, you'll have something that's a unique creation from the Live Free and Ham guys here as well. Because once they're gone, they are gone.
There's only 5 left, right?
Close, yeah. I think we have total 7.
Okay, so there you go. Get those last 7 before they're gone.
Yep, you heard it here. We've been having a somewhat of a rush on our Hamlets. They are still available. We've got packs of 3, 10, and 25 still waiting for you guys to pick them up. And so you might be asking, if it's their first time here in the show, what is the Hamlets all about? Well, as you see, Paul is so eloquently displaying and balancing his little Hamlet on his mic if you're watching on the YouTube here. But if you're, say, a podcast listener, well, you can always head over to Get Hammed. That's GetHammed.com. And that show link is in our show notes if you have a chance to take a look at that and pick yourself up one. And so you might be like, why would I want to pick one up? Well, let me tell you. If you're a Jeeper and the Jeep community has their love of the duck, well, I'm tired of, letting them have all the fun. And so we created this little grassroots thing called Hammies. And basically all they are is a small little, pink ham that's well identifiable. And actually this weekend, I told out 2 or 3 on a couple of cars that I saw in the mall that had a few antennas. So it was pretty fun to go do that. It's almost a little bit of a thrill and a rush. But, you just take your little hammy, fill in your call sign on the disc, and then the little disc gets affixed to the bottom of the hammy, and you can place that anywhere on that vehicle. And lo and behold, I guarantee, if you even want to sit back and watch the action play out, I tell you, it's a blast, because when people get these things, they're like looking at them going, what little kid left a small little thing? And then they look on the bottom of it and they're like, oh, okay, cool. And so, we've been getting a lot of feedback from them. And again, it's just a great, cool way to be able to show people, hey, I see your cool antennas on your car. And, I want to, make sure how cool you are as a ham radio operator. And like I've always said so far, it is getting warmer around here, and guess what? Hamfests are coming out. And so what better place to, plant your little surprises to show off how cool people are in our ham radio community. And like I said, you can head over to gethammed.com, pick yours up there anytime, day or night. So continuing on, we always say we love your feedback. We want to hear from our community. So you can always reach out to us in 3 different ways. You can obviously use the SMS link in all of our show notes that's available in the description below. And make sure when you do, if you send us a quick text message, that you include your call sign and your first name. That way we can give you credit. Otherwise, you're just a 4-digit number. We have no idea who to apply the credit to. And we'll love to share that in our next episode. You can always then leave us a voicemail. I can't tell you how many times we've had a bunch of voicemails already. You guys have heard them. Every time we get them, we like to play them for folks. We love the creativity that you guys are throwing at us. So keep it coming. And again, you can always reach us anytime, day or night. And if you're listening to this on the podcast right now, heck, hit the pause button, dial 978-233-1142. Leave us a message. Let us know you're listening, and we'll be sure to mention you on the next live stream and throw you some love that way. And, as always, we like to make sure that, You guys really know that very well. And so with that, we're going to just kick into our...
Live free and have, you know you can. Join the fun, be the biggest fan. Call that number and lend an ear. Live free and have, it's crystal clear. From morning blues to midnight snack, they've got the scoop, never looking back. Stories, news, and quirky bits. It's the podcast that's full of hits. So live free and have, you know you can. Join the fun, be the biggest fan. Call that number and lend an ear. Live free and have, it's crystal clear.
It is. It's crystal clear. It is spelled out literally in that jingle there. If you haven't gotten it, commit that number. Make us not regret it, because we'll have to come over and tattoo it on your arm or something, just to get the point across that we want to hear from you guys. It's simple as that. So leave us a voicemail anytime, day or night. We want to, hear what you guys have to say. And, we'd love to, see what you guys send our way. As always, we always can accept typical emails. And, if you're that type A personality, you really want to send us one, you can send N1OG there a WinLink email. And if we read that on the next show, then you are definitely in an elite club. And there's some really cool things by being in that elite club that we'll go into a lot later. But if you've listened to the show, you know what you know when you know. All right. Well, as we always like to say, we have our live stream every month. We want you to head over to our YouTube page and click our subscribe button if you haven't, and make sure you hit that bell, because you'll never, ever know when we go live if you don't hit that bell. It's simple as that. Oh, wrong bell. That was close. It was almost like that one. There we go. Yeah, so you got the right button there this time. Excellent. So yes, that is the bell sound that we expect you guys to be hitting, so you get to notified when we go live. And we are getting into our April month here, so we're going to be thinking about putting together another live stream. So with that, you're going to want to pay attention to that, and make sure you are subscribed and you're setting the notifications appropriately. So hope to hear from you. Hope to see you on our next live stream. And so that way you get notified. And if you aren't already a Patreon member, we got a little secret for you. You can always head over to our Patreon page, and that's over on our website and in our description below. As a Patreon member, you get a crap ton of stuff. There are a bunch of Patreons scrolling if you're watching our YouTube channel at the very bottom. And we thank all those folks being contributors and helping support the show. They get all of our cool perks every week from our show. But some of those things can be as early access to all our uncut episodes before they're released to the public. You get a members only podcast, which is also the uncut audio feed. So if you still like the podcast in that form, now you can actually listen to us from beginning to the moment we start recording to the end, and then we stop. And it's totally unfettered, back and forth, whatever is on our minds at the moment. And trust me, you'll be very surprised sometimes. I go back and listen to it myself thinking, what the hell were we talking about? Anyway, so and there's a bunch of other stuff. And as always, as our fan Bob Koff says,
you can join for as little as $3 a month. It's not a big expense.
Nope, it is not. So be like Bob and come join and be part of our Patreon crew. We got to make a shirt like that. So just to be like Bob, join our Patreon on the back. There we go. You heard it here. Bob is going to get his first free shirt, and he doesn't even know it's coming his way. All right. Well, with that, let's kick off our usual.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Everybody, we got some news.
Slow down, Boog. Let me handle this. We've got some news. I've got bad news and bad news.
I have reviewed ship's personnel, Captain.
Congratulations, you've got mail.
We've got no news. No news is bad news.
Yeah, dude. The lonely at the top, right?
Yeah.
Apparently.
I'll give this though. Our friends Tim, KC1 QDK, and his wife Kim got
don't mention it yet. Don't mention it yet because we got that. When we get to your segment, we're going to bring it in. So don't worry. Don't give that advance notice out yet.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to congratulate them, and I guess you'll find out later.
Yes, that'll be in our segment.
That's good news.
It is good news, but if you want to send us a review or tell us how bad our breath smells, I don't know if you can even smell it from through our microphones, but it's one of those things. We just want to hear from you guys. We know stuff's going on. And so there's nothing in the WinLink bucket there at all either.
WinLink is empty, other than our last submission, sending us a regular email address, so that way we can invite him to join us.
There you go. Well, all right. Well, so Todd, how can they send us a review or an email? What's the best way?
Just go to our website and send me an email. I'm about to give you my personal cell phone number because everyone else calls me. So you can do our Discord. You can call us 978-233-11. What is it? 1142. And there's a lot of ways to reach us. Just send me something. Come on.
Please. We're trying to get this number committed to Todd's brain.
There's some news. Yeah, I'm really bad with numbers. I have to look up my wife's phone number. They always say, "Oh, what's the account? What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's my wife's. Hold on, let me look."
Do you have your luggage passcode? Do you know that?
I don't have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's nothing in my luggage that anyone wants to steal. They can have it.
You've heard it here. All right. Well, we'll bummer on that one. But, it's not to say that, there's a whole lot of doom and gloom, but let's go into...
Doing good. Good. Doing good.
You do. That's good.
You good? You good?
You're doing good.
Absolutely, I do. Good.
Doing good, Bob. Doing real good.
Right now, my only outlet is my ham radio.
All right. Well, this is our do good segment. So if I could find my freaking notes, why did I lose everything here? Oh boy. I think I'd already have this memorized here. So, I was just going to read your little extra segment. Sorry. Way to get ahead of the fire. If you're all aspired to do good in ham radio, how about we start there? That's a good place. So, whether you might be assisting in a disaster, providing communications for that local road race, or hosting a POTA meetup, which is going to be one of tonight's messages. We all love to participate in ham radio activities. So I'm going to say we've got one in the mailbox. They sent it to my personal address, but in essence, it's still all good. I don't care. Like Todd says, we don't care how it gets to us. Just send us something. So this one came from Alan of the Police Amateur Radio team in Westford. He says that at his next club meeting, they're going to be talking about POTA. So it looks like they're starting to turn up the POTA machine there, get a little bit more hams active and into POTA, which sounds awesome, and thumbs up to him, and appreciate, adding to our ranks. And he wants to send it a little bit of an early notice that they're planning and holding a club activation using their call sign, WB1GOF. And they're going to be over at Great Brook Farm State Park, and that's over in Carlisle. And if you guys are keeping tabs on park numbers, that's US 2435. And then if you're around an area and you're in the local New England area, they're going to be doing that on Saturday, April 26th. So if you don't have anything going on that time, or you want to learn more about POTA, head on over to their club website, check them out, or reach back out to us, and we'll get you in contact with Alan here, and he can then forward on more information to that event. But I have to say, it warms my heart when I can see other clubs realizing how awesome POTA is, and they're like, they want to go out and do it more, and they're getting more people in the ranks, and it's just starting to make 20 meters more POTA specific.
I'm going to try to make that one. Should be fun.
Yeah, I think if we can get a crew to go down there and check them out. They invited all three of us to come down, so we will definitely try to see if we can get that on our schedules there, Alan. We've got a bunch of things coming up in and around the end of the month, so we'll see if we can get it on the calendar, and maybe we can come down there and meet you guys and say hello and do a little POTA with you. So there you guys go. I mean, there's a doing good. That is a perfect example of what we mean by doing good. So, we just want you guys to share things like, maybe you had a first-hand radio experience with a total stranger and activating a park, or, teaching a student, family member, or about ham radio, or you maybe demonstrate some, new technician the thrills of HF radio. we want to hear about stuff like that. So you can always share that with us. You can send us a voicemail at 978-233-1142. Or you can always head over, like Todd says, to our website at livefreeatham.com. But if you go to /do good, there's a simple, easy form. You can fill that out, and that'll go right to us, and we'll read that on our next episode. But, we want to spread the love, so let's continue to do that. Submit your stories. Let us know what's going on, and share your club stuff, and we'll be glad to spread the ham radio love. All right, Paul, we don't have anything. You had mentioned already the win link, so the no do-goods and the win links stuff at all. Okay.
Nope.
All right, well, cool. All right. Well, you heard it here. If you actually want to be a type A, superstar, you can send a win link to Paul for a do good, and then you're in the elite ranks of sending do good messages via the win link, which will set you up to join some of our private live streams that we're scheduling soon in the future. So if you want to get on the action on that, send Paul's N1OG a win link email for do good. All right. Now here is our creme de la creme, the best of the best. The show that once it goes away and he finally gets his extra will pretty much bring the show to its knees.
It's everyone's favorite segment.
And now, a little something extra with Todd. W1STJ.
Well, you heard it here. And dude, that's a perfect intro. We're going to have to just change that just to say exactly that. I was just listening to that going, that's a way better tagline than we got going on now. So, we're going to get together. We're on the same wavelength, buddy. All right, cool. So you've heard it here. This is where we help Todd study for his extra class. And boy, is he going to have to get his extra class soon. But we'll get into that in a second. In each episode, we pick 3 questions, the extra class question pool. And now we are dipping into the entire pool. So we're going to test his knowledge and hoping he gets his upgrade. So if you want to follow on, head on over to hamstudy.org. It's an awesome resource, and I recommend it everybody I come in contact with that's either studying or want to study. And it's a great tool to help you prepare. And it's recommended by 4 out of 4 volunteer examiners because volunteer examiners are awesome and they just know their stuff. So without any further delay, I'm going to hand it over to just that perfect person, our VE Quizmaster. Take it away, Paul. Oh, there we go.
Hit the wrong one.
Nope. There we go. All right.
It's blurry.
All right.
Stay on target.
It's all blurry. I can't read it.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
Focus.
Is it blurry?
A little bit. It's all right. It's getting better.
You read it out
That's
loud anyway.
better.
There we go.
All right.
Todd, for question number 1 this evening, how is compensation of an oscilloscope probe performed? Is it A, frequency standard is displayed and the probe is adjusted until the deflection time is accurate? B, a DC voltage standard is displayed and the probe is adjusted until the display voltage is accurate. C, a high frequency sine wave is displayed and the probe is adjusted for maximum amplitude. Or D, a square wave is displayed and the probe is adjusted until the horizontal portions of the display wave are nearly flat as possible.
Sorry. Blow on the button.
Well, Paul, I'm going to go with D. Square wave is displayed and the probe is adjusted until the horizontal portions of the displayed wave are nearly flat as possible.
You are correct, sir. That I do know.
Yes, 100%. You are correct.
Great job.
All right, 1 for 1.
Yeah, so the probe is adjusted until the horizontal flats of a square wave are as flat as possible. This adjustment is equivalent to making the probe have uniform attenuation over a range of frequencies to be measured. In passive probes, this adjustment is usually a small adjustable capacitor. Those silly trick cubes are 3-dimensional, but squares are as flat as possible.
Okay.
All right. Question number 2. What happens when the level of a comparator's input signal crosses the threshold voltage? Is it A, the reference level appears at the output? B, the feedback loop becomes unstable? C, the comparator changes its output state? Or is it D, the IC input can be damaged?
You know this one, Eric? Music.
No. Oh, yeah. All right.
I'm going to go with B. The feedback loop becomes unstable.
I don't know. I'm going to take a wild guess and say C.
Okay. Well, B is not the correct answer. And C is the correct answer.
I love it when a plan.
Good guess.
So a comparator does a greater than, less than test on 2 voltages, one of which is often a fixed voltage reference. When the input signal crosses over the threshold, i.e. the fixed reference voltage, that output goes high. When it crosses below the threshold, the output goes low. Thus, the comparator changes its output state. So there you have it.
Things
All right.
could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Yes.
The third and final question of the night, and so far you're 50%. What is
out of 2?
Yes.
Still failing.
All right. The third and final question. What is the purpose of placing an electrostatic shield around a small loop direction finding antenna? Is it A, it eliminates unbalanced capacitive coupling to the antenna's surroundings, improving the depth of its nulls? B, it eliminates tracking errors caused by strong out-of-band signals? C, it increases signal strength by providing a better match to the feed line? Or is it D, it adds capacitive loading, increasing the bandwidth of the antenna?
I'm going to go with A.
Yeah. I originally dived in thinking it was D, but it's definitely basically coupling the antenna surrounding, so it improves its nulls.
And A is the correct answer.
3 for 3.
I am still an extra. I am still an extra.
Now, maybe we should just do my real test like this. Can we do that?
So I make fun of you if you mess up?
You just ask the questions, and then I can know how I'm doing.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then when I get to whatever I need, I can just quit and be like, I'm done.
So we'll just set it up in a big giant game show event, and one number will be wrong answers, the other one will be right answers, and just like buzzer time and you screw it up.
So just to give an explanation, loops are sensitive to magnetic fields, and the electric field interactions that may be present are an undesired effect. A grounded shield eliminates those interactions, which are most noticeable when the antenna is otherwise not receiving a signal, which is in the nulls.
The nulls. Well, wow. Okay. Well, I've successfully passed all 3 questions. Okay. But that was probably the only time I've passed all 3 in several months. So it's still.
But Todd got 2 out of 3.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, so if you're on the journey to studying your technician, general, or extra class like Todd, then in that case, hamstudy.org is an awesome resource for getting your ticket. And so, like we say every episode, maybe you recently got your license or you got upgraded, and we're going to talk about that in a second. We want to recognize you on your next episode on the next episode, I should say, for your hard work and effort. Even though they didn't send anything in, we're really close friends with these two guys. And I have to say, I felt duped a little bit because I was literally on Friday afternoon with Todd on the repeater talking to Kim saying, hey, how's your general test studying going? And the first words out of her mouth was like, oh, I only get 55%. I don't think I'm going to test for it for a while. And I took her word for it. So I can't trust her now because she is now, she went to the test on Saturday. And Paul, do tell.
Yeah, so we...
That was weird.
He was like frozen.
You were so astute there for a while. You were just kind of sitting there like, nonchalantly.
Elon must have got me for a second.
He did.
But yeah, so we had a test session yesterday. We originally had only 6 people pre-registered, but we ended up having 11 people show up.
That's awesome.
One of the walk-ins unfortunately didn't have his FRN. He didn't know what an FRN was, and unfortunately there was only 3 VEs that were present, so we really couldn't take the time to individually walk him through. So he kind of got frustrated and said, no, he'll come back to the next session. But yeah, so we got 1, 2, 3, we got 4 new technicians. Which is fantastic. Kilo Charlie 1, Victor Yankee Mike, Kimberly Cates, upgraded to General.
Yep.
Kilo Charlie 1, Quebec Delta Kilo, Mr. Timothy Cates, upgraded to Extra.
Nice job, Tim.
Then we had Kilo Charlie 1, Victor November Yankee. He passed both his General and his Extra.
Damn.
Good job. That's awesome.
Yeah. Kilo Charlie 1, Uniform Romeo Golf, passed his General, but did not pass his Extra.
Okay. Good for him on the General.
And then Kilo Charlie 1, Victor Juliet Quebec, passed his Extra.
Nice.
So,
wow.
Yeah. Congratulations to all of you who passed and got your license or upgrade.
Especially the sneaky Kimmy decided to tell all of us on the repeater, like I said, that she wasn't ready to study for her test. She was also very sneaky when she decided to say that she wasn't going to go get her technician, and then all of a sudden got her technician and got on the repeater. But, I guess you got to have a little fun with it, right?
Yeah, well, so the old saying goes, right? What do you call the doctor that graduates at the bottom of their class?
A doctor.
Right. Well, so while Miss Cates, got 26 out of 35, what do you need to pass? You need 26 out of 35. So, yep. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the score is. It's a passing score.
I assume she kept her call sign, right? She didn't actually put in a request for an upgrade yet.
Yeah, no, she elected to keep it.
Huh. Interesting.
So, since Tim passed, I started taking the test. I took 2 today. Wasn't close to passing.
Okay.
I got 29, 26.
So what would help you, Todd, to be able to,
I gotta keep doing
push you at a date?
No, I'm taking this test at least once or twice a day, and I think that'll do it. The problem is when I focus in on the one section, right, I get really good at it, and then I forget the other stuff, and then I go back. So I'm starting to, if I take the test, and then what I've been doing is reviewing the questions I got wrong and find out why I got them wrong or whatever. So
cool. All right. Well, you've heard it here. Keep cheering Todd on. Send love, send encouragement. Send him updates consistently.
The pressure is too much. I think we should stop doing this so I can just quietly get my extra and just show up one day and be like, I got it. Now I'm not even going to tell you guys. You think I'm doing it at the club? No way.
Good luck, because I'm sure Paul's already got his feelers out to every other VE team in the area on like, if you see this call sign come across your desk, let me know.
He's gonna do like a walk-in somewhere.
He'd be like, we'll all show up as a club. We're just like, oh, Todd's gonna show up. We'll all show up, all 25. Like, hey, we're gonna watch you test, Todd. All right. Well,
I'm gonna film. Are you allowed to film yourself?
No,
I don't know. No.
I mean, I don't.
If I just sat my,
I don't think that it's not allowed. I
just
think that
look like having me like sit there and be like, as I do it.
I think if we did an individual session for just you, right? Then no big deal. We can have all the cameras we want because we're not.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to have to do waivers and things for all the other people.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I think we should basically do that individualized session and then take the TikTok filters and just impose on his face throughout the whole entire time, like the angry face, or the cat face, or whatever. Just really like mess up the whole entire video. I
don't know why I'm a cat right now.
Sorry, Todd identifies as a cat this time.
Eric, are you a VE too?
Not yet. I've actually just started reading.
But Tim is, right?
Tim is, yeah.
And now that he's an extra, so basically the three of you could do it.
Yeah. Actually,
yeah. Once Eric gets his accreditation, yeah. Because we just need 3.
Right. And then you guys will be up my ass like, oh, you better study for the accreditation.
That's all it takes? All I have to do is finish my VE accreditation and I can be up your ass all the time?
Well, no, when I get my extra, you'll be like, oh, you're not a VE. You're the only one on here is not a VE.
Yeah, please. That's the big deal. Like, you can ignore all that because I've been hearing that for like several years now. It's like, you're not a VE yet? Like, well, how come you're not helping out? You're going to be helping. I'm like, yeah, I'll get there when I need to.
Yeah, come on, Eric.
Yeah, I see. That, yeah. See how it just rolls right off my back. What'd you say, huh? Yeah, no, I'm actually studying.
Isn't it an open book test?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. You just have to read the book. That's what I'm starting to do. All right.
Bring the book with you.
Well, it's a PDF file. It's not huge at all.
Yeah, you literally you just need to sit at your computer with the book open on one page and the questions on the other, and you just find the answer and fill it in. It's not that hard.
Yeah, true. I could do that. I was just thinking I'd read it first, at least so I could find the answers quicker. So like it'd take me 10 minutes to do the test instead of 25 minutes to, search through something.
But all your studying will take you like hours.
I'm not studying that at all.
The book's only like 20 pages.
Yeah, so it should be easy. I got it downloaded, so we will get that done. I promise. If that's going to be what's going to be enough to instigate Todd to get his extra there, then sure.
So if I get my extra and I studied to become a VE, then we be a VE live free and ham.
Yeah,
we could have a live free and ham VE team. Yeah.
Nice.
If there is an interest and folks want to test with the VE crew, yeah, that'd be cool. I would love to do that.
Nice.
One more thing to offer. Sweet. All right. Well, that's a good segue then. So we always like to get in our usual formats where we talk about our Ham Radio Week. Paul, what's your Ham Radio Week like this week? What's been going
on? Well, let's see. What did I do ham radio related this week? I finished my Cape Poda video, and I'm very, very proud of it. I think it came out fantastic.
Forward to it.
I had to go back and redo the ending because I didn't like the ending after I had already uploaded it to YouTube.
Oh no!
But that's all right. I re-uploaded it. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. And I did the VE session yesterday, so I think that's about all I did ham radio related. But it's a good week.
Awesome. Well, hey, dude, we're always entitled to having a little bit of ham radio adjacent stuff, and that video was definitely important because you are like the last one. But go ahead.
Yeah. So other ham radio thing, I got my Nearfest tickets in the mail.
Nice.
So yeah. No, it was really quick. Yes. So I think I ordered it and paid on Friday, and it was there.
I shipped it up.
Yep.
That's sweet. Well, for those that might not know what we're talking about when it comes to Nearfest, and we should step back, actually. With those that don't know what we're talking about in terms of videos, Paul's referring to an awesome activation that will forever be a memorable one, because Todd was working, but he was invited because I've had several comments on.
I don't think I was invited. You know what?
Well, you were on the live stream.
For the record, they didn't invite me. They didn't say one thing. Let's have WS. Can you take a day off of work, Todd? Can you come down to the Cape and do this? Wasn't even.
We did it on a Sunday,
and it's the reason why is because I'm just a general. That's what it comes down to. It was all the extras.
We stayed in the general portion of the band.
it was general. It was extras only. Generals were put to the side.
Wow, this is going to be a bitter fight to the end, isn't it?
Just saying.
So those that might not understand what's going on, Walt put out his video. So Paul and I attended a meetup with Walt, the Coastal Waves and Wires. And if you haven't caught his video, head over to his channel. He's got us up there. And he got his video out quick, which at that point I was like, oh crap, I'm really behind the ball. I got to get mine going. So I got mine out there, and you'd be damned. I shared this with Todd earlier. You think everybody be like, oh, hey, great, congratulations, it's really good. They're like, you know what would be better for this whole activation? This activation would be great if you had Todd there. And I'm like, fine, I'll remember that next time. They did. You go look at the comments. Go look at the comments. They're like, it would have been awesome if Todd was there. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'll remember next time. Thanks.
Yeah, it serves you guys right for keeping me out.
Well, it segues perfectly into our conversation today.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So if you haven't had a chance, head up to Walt's video. Check it out on activating the Marconi site. He did an awesome job, as always, as Walt does. And then I did mine, and I got a lot of awesome feedback. And I had a blast going down there. And we're just waiting for Paul's. Yours is premiering, what, Tuesday night?
Tuesday night. Yeah. At, I believe it's 7:02 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. Well, by the time this one airs, we'll be a week out. So, in essence, you can always head over to his channel, check that out, and I think
it'll still be there.
It'll still be there. I've linked to Walt's video in my description. I'll do the same for Paul's once it gets posted, and then you can watch. All three, and get a feel for it. We want to hear your feedback on it and what you thought of it. Everybody so far has been super positive. And it's been a blast, and I really am looking forward to the next time. We got to get Walt to come up this way. We have to do something. He would be an awesome Rove guy. I can't tell you. We should do a 7-park Rove of Walt.
Along the coast at 10. Yeah. What did we do last time? 7?
We did 7.
We need to do 10.
I'm saying 7, but if we have teams and a bunch
10.
of stuff,
we got to do 10. I want a different. I don't want the warthog again. I want the next one.
Okay, fine. Ward chaser, paper chaser.
So what was funny is on Walt's video, I went through the comments early on, and somebody had said, you and the Grouch should do a live stream, and it'd be Salty Walt and the Grouch being grouchy, and it'd be the Salty and Grouchy show.
That would be awesome. It's like the Ren and Stimpy show. Hey, Stimpy. What, Ren? What are you doing? You're blowing things up. Oh, man. All right. Well, you heard it here. If you want to see that happen, put it in the comments below. We want to see if we can get something to go in here. It'd be cool. All right. Well, with that, Todd, how was your ham radio week or anti-ham radio week? Whatever. You tell me.
It wasn't really happening. Do want to thank you, Eric. He saved the day. I wouldn't be here without him today because my kid decided to have a sleepover. And of course, the internet just died. And I went on the phone talking to people, talking to Comcast, talking to Eero. And then I finally just called Eric. And Eric came over and took a good 2 hours. Were you here?
Yeah, it was about 2.5 hours, getting that back up and running.
And dude, he freaking
the bills in the mail.
Yeah, I know. Dude, it would have never gotten fixed. He was like, so I gotta buy some more equipment. This is the culprit. This thing shit the bed.
Little firewall went belly up.
So he was able to Jimmy rig us and get me back online, which saved the evening with the kids and got me on tonight. So Eric, I owe you big time. I appreciate it.
No big deal. You're welcome, my friend.
Yeah, that's what ham buddies are for.
Even if it's IT related. Yeah. And you get this, here's the funny part. What happened after I left the house? I get a phone call.
So then he leaves, and I'm like, dude, did you do anything to my Flex? It won't turn on. So I'm like, what the nothing's going right today. So the solution was unplug it, unplug the power supply, let it sit overnight, come back, and I did it this morning and nothing. I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. I'm like, I am not sending this flex back. So I think what happened in the back of my rack is a plug-in that everything, all the power poles plug in. And I think the one
port. Oh, the fuse in that?
The fuse, but I couldn't.
Oh.
I didn't go under it to look at it, so I just pulled it out and I plugged in another one and it worked. So I think the fuse went.
Just make sure the one you plugged into wasn't a smaller fuse because you don't want your flex to blow that fuse fast, and you might actually blow the fuse in your flex. So it's buy the cheap fuse.
Yeah. Well, I know. I got to look at it tomorrow or tonight or whatever. I got to crawl under the desk and look, and I just wasn't in the mood to do it today.
I didn't know that Ryan, when he wired up that linear power supply, that he wired it to like a distribution, like a power pole distribution block. So yeah, that would make total sense if the fuse blew on that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad you got that sorted out.
Yeah. So that's all good. So everything's good now, and part should be in a couple days, and Eric will have to come back, and he also have to get a new mesh system because the Eero doesn't seem to want to play nice.
It sort of does, but gotta get newer hardware. Those things have been around for a while. Time to get faster internet.
Yeah. So we're gonna is that mesh system that you told me to get, it's gonna be faster? It won't have any more slowdowns or freezing on the TV or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll be able to place them in a nice little spot where we can actually visualize where your coverage is in the house through the app. So it'll be pretty cool. I'll show you how to do that.
Nice. All right. Anyway, so that's what friends are for. That's a song, isn't it? That's what friends are for.
Hey, come on, Paul. Let's go. You're in front of
Where are you? You're slowing down here. So yeah, ham radio wise. Holy cow!
What the heck was that? Is that like a test tone for a tornado or something?
It said it was a lobotomy.
I felt like I had one.
Anyway, I just been on the repeater going to and from work. I appreciate the guys in our club that talk to me in the morning. Makes my commute go well. Gets me not thinking about work on the drive in, and then I pull in and I'm like, oh crap, look where I'm at. So anyway, it's been good. Been talking to our president, Ralph.
Who gave him the button?
Yeah. Getting ready to do some fishing and that kind of stuff. So, but been busy, really busy with baseball. I kind of got myself into a little predicament where I'm assisting the middle school coach because, you know, my middle school that my kid goes to, I think they're a bunch of idiots because they hired this guy 2 days before the first practice, and they didn't cut any kids. So he's got 20 kids, and he's the only guy there. So I introduced myself to him and said, hey, do you need any help? And he asked me to help him out. And then he's like, hey, would you mind if you're around, you know, you could come the other nights and help me. So I kind of got swamped into, so now I'm like baseball out of my mind. So I'm going to miss, Zach has a game because everything got snowed out here in New Hampshire. So he's got a game Monday. I've got middle school practice where Zach will be at the game. And then I've got the rec practice where Zach will be at the game. So my son won't be at the two practices on the two teams that he's on that I'm doing tomorrow.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah. And then it's not the first time because, you know, a couple years ago, I coached my son on the minor league team, and then the majors didn't have any kids. So me and the other minor league coach coached the majors team. So, so that's what's going on. And then Tuesday we have a game, and Zach has a middle school game. So I'm going to go to the middle school game in Manchester, and then I got to leave like an hour into it to head down to Amherst to do our game. And then Zach and four other kids should come down. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be a mess. This three baseball team stuff is just, it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's just too much.
For those that are not watching the video side of this, the Grouch has left the building.
Yeah. I know he doesn't care so much about my baseball life, but this is you know, I'm very passionate about baseball, and so is my son. So it's like, it's an opportunity. It's the last year I'm going to be able to do this because he will be full-fledged middle school, no more rec, and he'll be on the travel team, which all I do for them is cook lunch and film That's it. So so it's like the last time, but it's a lot, and so I'm trying to get everything as much in as I can, and still stay sane. So,
well, the only thing I have to say to you is,
You get to drink from the fire hose.
yes, you do. And
Superb.
Superb.
Yeah. Well, you know something funny? After like one of the practice, I did batting. I was hitting grounders for like 2 practices. So what is that? From like 3:45 till 7. So how many hours is that? Right? That's a lot of hours. Of just constant swinging. And then I get home. I'm like, how did I get this blister on my finger? Not even thinking that it was from the bat. The next day, I go and I do it again, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's where I got it from. So I had to borrow one of the kids' batting gloves. I said, dude, I need a batting glove just because this blister. I mean, and it's nasty. It was like the skin was like it's all red, like like fresh skin, like it's and it hasn't healed over yet. I'm like, Jesus.
Well, you heard it here. We'll eventually sometimes see Todd in the future in ham radio world. Right now, he's currently in baseball land.
Yeah,
just visiting.
Hey, but you know what? That Westford POTA activation, there's no baseball. Knock on wood, scheduled that weekend.
Yep, you heard it here, folks. Paul
So
and I
there
know
is
better.
the only thing is it's my dad and my son's birthday. So, but I think I can get away for a few hours for a POTA activation and go meet
the
those
weather's
guys.
good. That'll be an awesome place to do it for sure. Yeah. Actually, you've been there because that's the place we activated when you got
the
your
first
general.
time, the first one, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so we'll do it again.
So.
Well, we activated. I was a kind of disaster that day.
Oh, whatever. You got the points. You got the contacts. It's all the same. Doesn't matter how you got them, just as long as you didn't cheat.
Yeah, and I'm recruiting Paul for one of my assistant coaches, so he'll be.
You're a huge embarrassing failure.
Totally.
Look at all you need is a baseball hat, and you've got one. So get your ass down here and help me out.
He's already wearing one. He's halfway there.
Ed Nugent called. He wants his shirt back.
Oh man! All right, let's start getting into this podcast and stop talking about my hectic life.
You got a TikTok sound there, Paul, you can use. He's signaling to you.
Oh, shit. You can say it too. Eric, how was your ham radio week? Jesus, Paul, you could just set it for me.
It was much better for a comic.
I'll fill you so full of lead you'll be using your tip for a pencil.
All right. Well, my ham radio week. Well, it was actually ham radio focused. Was that?
You ugly.
Do you want to see my ham radio? Come on, play that one. I love that one.
Hey, Walt, do you want to see my ham radio?
No. Yeah, dude. So let me see. What did I do? So I had a couple of activations. I stupidly decided to go out on Friday when the bands were crap. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, I'm going to go do it anyway. So what are you doing? The tapping? You crushing cans?
I was. Sorry.
I was like, wow, that sounds familiar. Like, I've seen and heard that sound before. What is that? Oh, weird. That's crushing cans. All right. Well, as Paul finishes recycling there, I went over to Great Brook. I was actually down in the Boston area, and I was like, I'm going to go activate a park I haven't activated in a while. So I went to Great Brook. But of course, I didn't bring any of my gear. I just had the HF in the truck. And I figured, hey, I haven't activated this park on 15 meters. Well, so I actually tried 10 meters. 10 meters was kind of, I got nobody. And then I went to 15, and the antenna was having some struggles trying to get below 2-1. I don't know what it was, but it was a little wet, so nothing happened. So then I went to 20 meters, and the first guy I got was another park to park. And I'm like, dude, you're booming in. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. He's like yelling. And I'm like, it's like over modulating. I'm like, dude, I got your park now. I got your signal report, but I don't know what your park number is. And he's just like, he kept rattling it over and over again. And finally, when I realized that when I turned the volume down a little bit, he was giving me the same park number. And I'm like, why are you giving me my park number? And he's like, no, my park number is 2435. And I'm like, You're
My
in the same park I'm in right now. My park's 2435. And he's like, yep. And I'm like, where are you? And he's like, I'm literally over on the other side of the parking lot. We were literally, I don't know what he was driving or what intent he had, but he was like pounding me hard. And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm putting you in the log as a park to park for the same park I'm in. Why not? And so I'm like, that kind of set the rest of the day.
Is that legal in the rules?
I guess so. It must be. Yeah. I mean,
it's funny.
You know, if you have a giant, like if you go to like, you know, Yellowstone Park, I'm sure there's probably 3 hunters there from Yellowstone.
Right.
Dude, you could be freaking 3 feet from one another and talk to each other on Simplex and on HT and log it.
Park to park it. Yep, exactly.
Park to park.
Yep. So yeah, he booming in, and I was like, all right, well, hey, cool. And then I tried to go find him later, but I guess he must have been farther south.
That's what we got to do for when you guys do the support your parks weekend when we do it with the club. Is just everyone have an HT and run across the street to.
Yeah, over to the Miller State Park. Yeah,
just get 2 meter, get 2 meter.
Gotta go get 4 contacts,
and then do it. Then do it on 440.
Yeah, you could do it on 1.25 if you had that too, 220. But of course, just make sure you look both ways and run fast when you cross over that road, because people coming over that hill are doing like 65 miles an hour. They'll kill you.
I know, it's right at the top too.
I know, you don't see anybody.
So all of a sudden
I was like, whoa, dude, that was 65 plus. Anyway, so yeah, that was my fun activation. And then my Flex has been acting up, man. I don't know what it is. Like, I've tried 3 times to use it remotely. And for some reason, it just, I've had to reboot it 3 times. I don't know whether it's just software or not. So I got to, like you, Todd, I got to go back in and figure out what's going on to get it to behave. So I haven't done much remote stuff. But the bands have been kind of okay. I've been I'm looking at 20 meters now on my console, and there's less than 18. Actually, no, it's probably 100 stations on 15 meters, or 20 meters. So on FT8. So it's a little tough, but either way.
Well, the good news is after this week and the crap that goes on this week with the weather up and down, it's going to be warm tomorrow, then cold and warm. But after that, the long-term forecast looks like everything's going to be in the 60s.
So if it's going to be the 60s, you're going to be taking a lot more lunch breaks?
Yep.
Okay. You heard it here.
I am. Oh, I definitely am.
I want to go to the rail trail one more time, and I'm thinking, maybe if I hit a good day, I might. Hallelujah! Exactly. We've all been waiting. That's 107 contacts you got to catch up to. So yeah,
Mike, you know what? I've been ahead of you for 2 years, and you've been
year and a half, but whatever.
Year and a half. So you get one activation when I was stuck in California with a freaking anti-ham.
Were in my favor.
Yeah, not in mine. That's for sure.
Yeah, you could barely make 12.
All I wanted to do was get Hawaii. All I wanted, Hawaii and Alaska. That's all I wanted. I could care less if I activated the stupid park, but I did.
Here's my solution, my dude. If you forget about them and you ignore them like a child that just is bad behavior, if you ignore them all the time, then magically you'll all of a sudden get them because you're not expecting to go find them. That's just the way you have to treat it.
I rush and I get on a hammer. I can never hear them. It sucks.
It does. It does.
Yeah, maybe if I put up my vertical, I'll have better luck.
Hopefully. Well, we got to get that up too. I mean, hopefully we can get yours up before Shane and HR20 decide to get their heads out of their butts and decide to do their joint build, whatever that looks like.
We could run it. We could run it live and just set up some cameras.
We should just do a live stream.
Just a live Todd and Eric building
your
DX Commander.
Classic. Hey, this is what it looks like, Ham Radio 2.0 and Shane. Wow, this looks amazing when it gets up in the air. Let's play contacts with it.
You'll see me digging the trench.
Dude, we can do a whole lot more. That'd be cool. Yeah, we'll have to plan that when you're not busy doing baseball. All right, so let's get into our topics for tonight because we've done enough screwing around. So we have got a listener submitted topic. And so just to kind of backtrack a little bit, we've got on our Discord, a channel that we call listener submitted topics. So if you are, a Live Free and Ham listener, and you've been thinking to yourself, oh man, I wish they would talk about, this topic, or I wish they'd dive more into this topic. Well, we've got a place now. You can head over to our Discord, come join our Discord, links in our show notes and in our website. And you can head over to that channel and submit a show topic idea. And if we decide to take it, you as a submitter get a free sticker pack. And I say that with my Boston accent because those have been paying attention to the Discord know that I love the fluffanutta and I love vanilla nut taps. That's just the way it goes. So, and you know what I mean.
Go back to Starbucks.
I'm the president of Starbucks. I love Dunkin' Donuts so much. I'm the president of Starbucks.
It's not Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunks. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. My mistake.
You got to go to Dunkies, kid.
Got to Dunkers. Yep. Get your vanilla nut taps and your large regular. So, all right. So with that, so we have a listener submitted topic that we dug into the archives there and pulled it out. And so we are going to treat you to a listener submitted topic by W1TED. And his topic was, if I scroll up here, he posted, my notes are all screwed up today. The topic was how our lives have changed now that we are famous content creators. And I put famous in big quotes because we all are not famous by any stretch of the imagination. But we thought it'd be cool to kind of dive into it because it just gives us an opportunity to talk about some of the stuff that we do on our own channels independently, but at the same time that we do as Live Free and Ham, because we've been doing Live Free and Ham for about 2 years now. And, you know, Paul's been almost a year and a half now, I think is your anniversary coming up. Okay. So he's been around a year and a half.
2 years next month, right?
Yeah. You're looking at the stats probably. Yep.
Yeah.
First episode was June 5th when we did it. So we're not that far off. And yeah, our show's been going for 2 years. And so
June is our first.
Yeah. That was our first episode launch. So for the 5th of June. So we'll have a big party on that. And maybe a live stream early than we usually do. But Paul came in a little about shortly after that. But yeah, all of us have been hanging out doing this show for 2 years, and it's been an awesome ride. I don't think we're famous. I know that's kind of a
okay.
You know,
Eric, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. I'm not famous, but you are definitely ham radio famous because I've been doing POTUS with you, and we've had to stop pileups because someone wants to talk to you because you are the infamous N1JUR, and they love your videos.
Maybe. So I'm going to throw a rebuttal to that because I think I've been put in my place. I have sat with the giants, the ham radio tube giants, Walt being one, and I literally sat next to him, and I was running the POTA. And I have to say, I never got one. Hey, I love your videos. Keep up the great work. It was always, every time the mic went to Walt, it was like, hey, I love your videos. Keep up the great work. So that is me, my friend. And Paul's shaking his head. Yes, if you're watching this, on video.
Well, now the Grouch is, I mean, he's pretty, everyone knows the Grouch. I mean, I think we were at
the household
the last Near Fest, and someone came up to you like, hey, I love your podcast. Is the Grouch coming? I'm like, yeah, he's coming. He'll be here.
Paul has made a name for himself being the Grouch. I can't tell you everywhere. Like I'll listen to like live streams from the Traveling Ham, from a couple other guys that I just like. I randomly they're like, hey, last week on our live stream, the Grouch was talking about this, so the Grouch was doing this, and it's like. What is like? He's got a lot of time on his hands to like visit these shows and make appearances and
it's awesome. So, I'm gonna ride your coattails. That's it. You guys to do all the work, and I'll be like, oh yeah, this is the general here.
All right. So since obviously Todd thinks I'm the famous one, I defer to Paul as the Grouch being more famous than I, and he's had it in a shorter time, so tell me kind of what your feel is on that statement itself. I mean, we obviously talked a little bit offline about it, but
yeah, well, so I mean, I'll reiterate what I said offline, right? So while I don't consider myself famous in any way, I do recognize that prior to me starting all the YouTube stuff, I was well known in my local community for all the things that I was doing with the VFW and that, right? But like, it's kind of nice, right? To get a little bit of acknowledgement, like that somebody watched my video. Right? Hear me out, okay? So when I started the YouTube channel, like I said, I'm going to do this for me. This is going to, I don't care if people like it or if they don't like it. I'm going to produce the things that I want to produce because it's interesting to me, and I think
in the Grouch style. I mean, like if you did it the way I wanted it, then that wouldn't be Grouch like.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but so yes, I will say, like, I mean, I greatly appreciate the small following that we've got, and our loyal listeners and fan base. It's awesome. It's a great feeling to have that. I can only imagine, you know, what people like Matt Carricker from Demolition Ranch. I don't know if you guys are familiar. He's a gun tuber, okay, and one of the originals. He just retired, but like, I mean, he had his channel going, I think 18, 19 years. Yeah, he started when he was like 15 years old. Like, I mean, it was early on, you know, like 2007.
Welcome to YouTube. He's like the first one on.
Yeah.
It's like, look what I'm doing.
It was so cool though to, like, you know, kind of hear his progression from, you know, just creating videos to make extra money for ammunition purchases. You know, we're kind of doing the same thing, but it's ham radio. So we're hoping to make some extra money for some ham radio, you know, related purchases.
Yeah.
Fund your hobby.
That's exactly
Yeah.
It's the only reason we're doing this, guys. It's just to fund the hobby. No, that's not true.
Well, but no, because here's the thing. So, like, while yes, the extra little bit of money is great, and it's super appreciated, no matter what, you know, somebody can afford to give. It's all very, very appreciated. Never in a million years did I think that, like, I would be making money on YouTube. Like, I didn't think that was the thing, you know. And now here I am. I'm 3 months into being monetized, and I'm getting my first check from YouTube.
Nice.
And it's not, I mean, it's not huge, right? It's $135, but it's $135 that my fans and supporters have contributed. And honestly, I mean, that's going to help offset the cost of Buzzsprout and, you know, all of the other things that I pay for to help make the production a little bit better. And I only hope that as time goes on and the fan base grows, you know, that I'm able to, you know, continue to upscale the production and, you know, the type of giveaways that I've got available to offer. And, you know, I'm very appreciative that, you know, anybody's willing to listen to me talk about anything.
Right. Well, but that's the nice part about YouTube, is that you have a place and a voice. Like it's funny because I've seen your evolution, you know, from you starting, and not to say like I want to get sappy about this, but you know, it's like I remember when we had the conversations, you were like, "Oh, YouTube, I don't know if I want to do this. I hate Facebook. I hate YouTube. I hate social media." Blah blah. Like, I mean, everything was like the Grouch in its, you know, early form. And
I still refuse to use the Book of Faces and, you know, social media. So.
But you know, you've basically, like, your channel just is literally just like to be truthfully honest, I'm totally like enamored and surprised, because I always knew you were the type to just like, hey, once I'm going to get into it, I'm going to get into whole hog, and I'm just going to go at it and do it however I want. But like the fact that like all of a sudden, like one day you weren't doing it, and the other day you're like, hey, I'm doing this Weekend Warriors thing, and it's like, I'm like, where did this come from? Like, I mean, like, I didn't have, like, the Paul, who's the quiet guy, sort of like wants to like chime in a little bit here and there, you know, is just, you know, very good when you give him the stage to talk about something topic wise. But dude, he's like doing his own thing, own production, and I'm just like sitting back going, this is cool. This is awesome to see, you know. So it's always fun to see that side of like YouTubers that you're good friends with, obviously offside of being YouTubers, but you know, just being able to hang out and see like that progression, and then see a side of you that's not different. I mean, it's the same. I get the Grouch, you know, whether he's on YouTube or not, and we don't have to worry about it.
It's not always grouchy.
No, but Grouch, like Oscar the Grouch, we all know Oscar the Grouch growing up because I grew up on PBS. Like, he was always somewhat grouchy, but
oh yeah, Oscar the Grouch. I'm saying Paul is not always grouchy.
No, but
I've hung out with him and he hasn't been grouchy.
No, you caught me on good days.
Yeah, I got you on a good day.
But yeah, so it's been really cool to see like all of that aspect, and I'm awesome to see the channel just going and exploding because you have surpassed, not that we were Grasshopper Master, but like I remember when you were like, dude, you were 2000. I'm like, yeah, but you'll get there soon, and all of a sudden it's just like you put it in, you went from first gear to fourth gear, and then you just like blew by me, and I was like, whoa, dude, it's awesome. It's like really cool to see it. I was like, okay, well, I've been slacking then. So now I've got like, I love the little game of competition to play, he's doing this and he's working that. I was like, okay, well, how can I turn my volume up a little bit to get more people involved? And so, yeah, it's been encouraging, and I've been excited to be, because you're pushing me further, which is, what I'm guess I'm getting at. So, yeah.
Which is good. We should, as friends, encourage and push each other to continue to, get out of our comfort zones and, try something new. And even if that's something as simple as, wasting 6 hours out of your day sitting down and trying to figure out how to do magic masking in Da Vinci, like,
yep. Just hold on to your seats, man.
And I guess, in a lot of ways, that's probably some of the stuff that like, we could use this episode to help our fan base understand is like, there are countless hours that are spent trying to learn and figure out new things to up the production level and up like what we're putting out to our our fans. And I hope that like Todd learns from all of our mistakes and he just like jumps into the video thing like feet first with all of our mistakes already under his belt.
Yeah,
because dude, I'm telling you, like you'll grow like hotcakes if you just learn from the mistakes that we've already made.
Yeah, don't dive into an empty pool with no helmet on your head, kind of thing. It's just the way you got to look at it.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I love watching your guys' videos, and I think it's helped this podcast a lot. Huge contribution. I think a lot of people found us through maybe your channels, and then they come in and. I haven't really contributed to that, but I'm hoping my life slows down a little bit and I'll have more time. I'm working on videos.
You got one more year, dude. You got one more year of baseball, and after that, then you'll have free time on your hands.
And in the meantime, you could be our chief fundraiser. You've bragged and bragged about how great you are at fundraising.
You do. You have. I mean,
I'm not. My wife is good at it.
Oh no, don't. Like I have had conversation with Ralph, and Ralph's like, I was talking to Todd, and Todd was telling me you should mention about Live Free and Him. I'm like, he asked you to do that on a podcast you're going on to talk about ham radio, and I'm like, that's awesome. But like, you don't have to be obligated to do that. It'd be cool, but you don't have to be obligated to do that.
I asked him. I said, hey, throw us a plug. You're going on a podcast. Let us, that'll help. Maybe someone will check us out.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, I go to work and they're like, "Oh, you do a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, you should check it out, Live Free and Ham." And then I'm like, "You guys are all probably hate it." But when I set up my Flex at my office and I get it on my iPad and I'm just fucking around and I make a contact to like, Europe or something, they're like, "Dude, that was over the radio." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "Oh wow, can you do that again?" I'm like, "Yeah." Yep. I'm like, "You want to go out? You want to go out to lunch? I'll show you some real fun."
Trust me, dude. I will never ever turn you away from self-promoting of the hobby, because even though it's like a little odd or weird sometimes, I'm like, dude, no, that's his game. He knows how to do that well.
I'm gonna do more of it because I'm gonna get more and more people. I work in a school that has a really big what do they call that? Where they do STEM. Like the trade, STEM. Is that what it's called? STEM, where they do all the trades and stuff. So there's a bunch of people that they do radio stuff, and I said, well, let's do freaking ham radio. I'll get you all set up here. I'll bring some of my buddies. The problem is you got to deal with all the political BS. Like you hit the approval, you got to do this, you got to do that. I said, one of these days I'm just gonna freaking come park my ass in the middle of the football field and set up. And I said, you're gonna have no one in class because they're all gonna come see me. Like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Well, Let me know when you're ready at that stage. I'll reach out to Good Game because he is like so. Every time I mention him, I've got teachers lined up. He's like, when are they going to call me back? When are they going to sign up for TI? When are they going to start moving? And I'm like, I'm trying to get them to move towards that. So yeah, I mean, when you're ready to kind of do that, let me know.
Yeah, but if you're going, if I'm talking to someone, they're like, oh, we're going on a podcast that's like a big podcast. Like this podcast is pretty. They've got. They're big
downloads. We're good.
I said, freaking throw Live Free and Ham out there. You know, Ralph, hook me up.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, do it.
I also want to. I don't know how many people in our club even watch our podcast. When I was doing the net, I always brought up livefreeandhand.com where we're recording another podcast today.
Well, you've gotten at least 3 people recognize your voice, so I have to say that out of those 3 people go, oh, you're on Live Free and Ham. There are people out there listening, so we appreciate folks.
I know when Keith came up to, he goes, he came to our club for like the first time, and Ralph's like, oh, you got to meet this guy. He's all into POTA, and then he goes, are you on Live Free and Ham? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, have you heard about us? He goes, I was just listening to you on my ride over here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was classic.
Weird too.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, but no, that was good stuff. So anyway, I mean, I think I am really interested in doing it, and I am slowly learning the video stuff. I'm very slow at it. I've been watching a lot of videos on how to form it up, because what ends up happening to me is I get so much freaking stuff from videos. Like I'm working on a video that I did when I was with my brother in California with all these dolphins and sharks and sea lions and shit out in the boat in the middle of the ocean. And there's just so much clips and so many things. It's like, how do I even organize it all? And then I'm like, well, I have to organize. I can't have it too long, and I gotta, so it's kind of like my show. So I've been watching how people are organizing and stuff like that. So I envy you guys.
The listeners who aren't watching the video on the podcast, you should see Paul's face. It's kind of just like blank. And that's my face when I have to go through the 6 bazillion clips I have and go, I'm tired of like going through the 55th time I've activated trying to find that one clip, because I don't pay attention when I'm in the heat of the POTA.
Well, look I'm going to be resourceful. So as Eric was here yesterday fixing my internet, the kids were upstairs, and guess what they were doing? They were making videos of Spider-Man diving overhead, different angles, and they're using CapCut or something to put on Snapchat or whatever. So I'm like, there's my boy getting into videos. Maybe I can hire him. Because I buy him everything anyway. Maybe I can get my money back and say, all right, you want this? You want a new pencil bat? Well, I got 3 videos that need to be made. Get on it.
You heard it here, slave labor. It's all right. It's accepted now because they're doing it in Florida, right?
Yeah. That's what I told my kid. I tell him all the time. I said the only reason I had you is so you could do the chores around the house, like cut the grass, shovel the snow. I'm like, you're old enough now to learn how to do that. He goes, that's not true. Yeah.
Well, Todd, you're really good at social media, so I'm looking for a social media manager. You could be my social media manager, and I'll pay you when I get paid.
Okay. All right. I'll start now.
We all know they have radio world.
I'll start now, and I'll promote you. I'll promote all you guys.
Well, here's the benefit: is you can make all the mistakes on Paul's channel, bring him down to 0 subs, and then get yours boosted up. At that point, you can be like, Todd takes off to 4,000 subscribers.
N1OG is moving to W1STJ.com.
Totally.
Yeah, no, I'd never do that to Paul. Come on.
Oh, totally, man. He's going to have to, show us the way at this point. He's getting close to his 5K soon. So
the other thing that I thought is kind of cool, and it's more, I think, from you two, is the way we have over the last 2 years have kind of been known through the other YouTube channels, right? Like we kind of got into Ham Radio Clubhouse through Izzo. Right. And I don't know who met Izzo first, but somehow we're the guys up north. And next thing you know, you're like calling me and say, hey, can you get on Ham Radio Clubhouse tonight? And I'm like, sure. And then it was just from there. Then, now we've got Walt coming in.
Invites, and they invite Paul to go do one episode. And then they say to all the rest of us, yeah, we'll individually send you on. Have we gotten an invite after? Yeah. No, because Paul broke the system.
Yeah. But
That's what I'm good at.
And then like
burn the village before, after that, nobody else can go back in.
But then, then you got like Carlos, right? Like Carlos and I talked,
you guys,
when we did that digital thing, right? And it was like just a random thing on the America's Net or whatever that thing was called. And it just happened to be him. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like the dude that like jumps out of airplanes. And then now he's like, almost like, he comes on the show. It's like, hey man, what's up?
That was my favorite episode. I've never seen you guys so fanboy so hard that whole entire episode.
I love his. I tell everyone. I said, listen. I go, one of the guys that does ham radio. He's in the parachuting. I said he does ham radio while he plummets to the ground. They're like, get out of here. I'm like, oh yeah, watch this. And I show them the videos. They're like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I said, well, one of the guys that I do the podcast at, he's going to be doing that soon too.
So here's my thing is like, how we introduce Paul to new things in this, kind of channel in general, and he just goes and runs with it and does it amazing. What's our next big thing that we got to get Paul to do? We should start home brewing that, doing a little, back channel talk and see, what we can get Paul to do. Climb Everest, maybe, is that the next one? Because he's got a bucket list.
Well, I mean, all right. I guess if I'm climbing Everest, that's got to be crowdsource funded. I can't afford that shit.
Expertise, and I can definitely make sure we get.
I'll hang out at the base camp with you while you hike up.
I'll just interview.
I'll talk to you. Hey, Paul, you still up with us, buddy? Yeah, I'm smoking a butt. Smoking a butt, and there's like no oxygen. I can't get the thing light. There's not enough oxygen.
Watson's like, it's fucking freezing, Dad. Why the hell are we here? But oh man, we joke, man. But this, I have to say, this ride's been fun. I'm definitely super excited with what the future holds. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm still struggling with that famous line. Like, I think you're right on the fact that, we have a great fan base, both for, if we just talk Live Free and Ham, I don't know how many times when you guys went to Nearfest last year, like you were like, I would literally walk by a booth and they'd like see like my Live Free and Ham shirt or hat. And they'd be like, hey, you're Live Free and Ham. And they'd be like, and I'm like, when I first did that, like that was a little weird because like I wasn't used to that attention and people just going like, I know you from Live Free and Ham. And I'm like, and they didn't mess me up with like you or, they knew who all three of us were and they had no problems like, just saying, oh dude, I love listening to your stuff. So, it's really cool, in a nutshell, but at the same time, I think it encourages me to be, more like you said earlier, Paul, just continue to do your own stuff. And then we'd bring that into Live Free and Ham too. So like, we're not doing different stuff here. I think, all of our ham diaries that we've sort of put out there, we've kind of stopped a little bit, but
I got some.
It's been, I've been a little crazy, busy stuff, but I got some stuff too as well. But if you like those ham diary stuff, those are kind of just some of our like, ins and outs of daily life and whatever. And I enjoy kind of doing them when I can kind of remember to do them. And so, let us know if you're, listening to those things and you watch those things and you enjoy them, let us know in the comments, share that stuff with us. And that way we can, keep that moving forward. But if, not, hey, I'm happy doing what we're doing now with the live streams and our podcasts and everything else like that. It's always been a blast.
Yeah, that is my favorite, part of the whole thing is doing the live streams. I have the most fun when we do the live streams, either with Near or with us. It just seems to be, I just think it's a lot of fun. I like interacting with the people. I like the jokes that come up, the comments, the ideas. It just feels like it's fun. Like I wish we were doing if it was up to me, we would do every podcast live.
Oh,
I know.
I have a confession. I know Paul said, he loves live streams. That's where it's at. When you guys say live streams, like a little bit of me goes panic mode because I like to kind of have, not that I'm rigid with my scripts, and that's at least gives me a security blanket to hold on to and I kind of flow with it. And then it allows me then if I get stupid or I say dumb things or whatever, or just I let whatever my brain and mouth don't connect and let it come out. Like in this environment, I can say that with you guys because you know what I'm talking about at the same time, but it doesn't come across like I'm a total moron. Which hey, fine if you think that, whatever.
well, our Patreon members know that.
They do.
They watch all this stuff.
they hear the rants. That's a panic thing for me too. It's like every time we release that, it's like, what did we talk about last week? I forgot.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, I like that. I mean, and when we first started doing the first couple of times of the podcast, I mean, Eric, you had done one with your buddies, and so you had the experience, and I had no experience, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of the more we've done it, just it's gotten. I wasn't anxious about it. I wasn't. It was just like, oh, I'm like, are we doing a podcast tonight? Yeah, all right, I got to go down and do it. And for me, it's almost like as comfortable as like turning on a Zoom meeting for a meeting at work. And once we get going, it just kind of flows. And it's not like we're thinking about like, oh, well, what are we going to say next, or what's the next thing? I mean, most of the time we just wing it. We just come up with a topic and we have enough to say about it.
Well, yeah, okay. So we definitely come up with a topic, but I feel very much more secure that I have Paul on board because he knows, like, he just prepares in advance just because we know Paul is the Boy Scout who's not really a Boy Scout. You know, he's always the guy that like always know, like, when we're trying to get to that topic or come up with a better formulated idea, he's already like got it in his head already laid out, and it's like, oh, well, cool, we'll just follow that path. And you know, he makes us all look good, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
He is the most prepared man I've ever met.
Yeah.
You're with Paul, you need something, he's got it, guaranteed.
Yep.
And if I don't, I'm going to feel like shit for not having
it. so there's a challenge. If you bump into Paul, my suggestion is go, hey, do you have this? And we'll see if he's got it. And if you stump him, I will throw you a t-shirt myself.
Stump Paul, see what he has.
Because I guarantee, short of like, you know, a nuclear, you know, warhead, you know, in his back pocket, he's probably got everything else.
I try to be as prepared as I can be.
Yeah, modest, whatever.
But so speaking of fanboy stuff, though, right? Can I just tell you, like, how excited I am for the first week of May? Like, I get to hang out with Carlos in person, and we're probably gonna jump together, like with him as an instructor.
Hand in hand with the music in the background, like walking through a rose, garden or whatever.
Yeah, no, it'll be more like he'll have one hand on my shoulder and one hand on my leg strap. If he's got to, he'll give me the thumb.
5-point harness. Dude, I was thinking of you, Paul, the other day. I watched a clip. I don't know if it was on. I think it was on YouTube. The Red Bull, this dude jumped out of an airplane at like 40,000 feet or something crazy. He had oxygen on and he was in a wingsuit, and he jumps out and he hit the jet stream. He goes, I got the jet stream. And he was doing like 550 miles an hour in a wingsuit, just hauling. He broke the record for the speed and the longest flight on a wingsuit. Wow. But it was crazy. He said, he goes, I hit he goes, I just hit the jet stream, and he went from like 340 to like 550, just freaking hauling ass in a wingsuit.
Let's look at Paul get his Class A first.
Yeah, but I was just saying. I mean, the thing I want to say it was like almost a 20-minute video of just this guy, you know, hauling out, and it had like a little thing of like how he was getting lower and the speed was slowing down, and he finally like pulled the chute. But I was like, that's in your future.
So if I remember right, it's 200 jumps before you can do a camera or a wingsuit. But speaking of Red Bull, those guys are freaking unreal. And I don't know if you saw, but they did this thing where the skydiver jumped out and the plane nosedived, and so they're falling together, and as the guy's flying, he reconnects himself to the plane, and the plane goes back up so that he can unhook and do it again. And so it was just like repeating the skydive over and over. Like,
wow.
Yeah. And he jumps.
So cool.
He climbs in.
Count
right?
as a jump every time?
Before he touches the ground.
You can get your license quicker that way.
Infinite skydiving. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, Red Bull they do some crazy shit. Like I saw like one of them was like literally going down a ski resort, like just above the lifts. at like 200 miles an hour. Just.
Now, you want to talk about famous? Those guys are famous. They've got millions of followers.
Yeah, because they're batshit crazy.
Exactly. They have no no value for life at that point. But yeah.
I mean, I'm batshit crazy. I just don't have the money that they've got.
Not yet. If you want to help fund, so
let's see how batshit crazy the Crouch really is.
So I want to get a little bit more into your fanboy with Carlos in a second, but before we do that, for those that might not know, because we haven't promoted this heavily, but if you want to help Paul get to that, because in essence we all know where Paul's at. He's a lot like us, where all living on some form of fixed income, and our money flow is not always like available to do all the cool stuff, and so he's going to work towards getting his Class A, and that does cost money. Obviously, it's jumped up by $1,000, I think you said, from the last time you were doing it. So if you want to help him out, head over to our website, go to livefreeandham.com. Up in the top right hand corner, there's a GoFundMe there. Chip on a few bucks, help Paul out, because in essence he's getting close to May, and so he's obviously funding most of this stuff, and Carlos is definitely going to be there helping him, getting the jumps in and stuff like that. So we're going to see some awesome content, but at the same time, help him get that to that point further, and help any way you can. So if you can give a couple of bucks, head on over to that, and just donate to that, to help a great friend out here get his jumping license, or not jumping license, Class A license.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, no, I greatly appreciate it. I mean, even $5 helps. Jake from Flag and Torch donated $5 the other day, and thank you, Jake, for that. Yeah, every little bit counts. I mean, so far the bill's up to $5,000, and of course it could go up from there if I have to repeat jumps. So, yeah, it's certainly not a cheap venture, and I'm hearing about it all the time from the wife. So,
for sure. But help him out. I mean, you got to get some awesome content. I guarantee hanging out with Carlos is just alone, that content value is going to be freaking through the roof. Just to watch Paul get super excited about anything Carlos says would be just cool enough. But looking forward to all that stuff. And even he's going to be doing some POTAs out there. So if you're heading out that way, look him up. Make sure you hit him up on the spotting page too as well, because he'll be traveling sometime in May. So we'll get you more updated on that as we kind of get all the details ironed out and we get closer to May. But yeah, dude, that's just another cool thing that we get to do as YouTubers, and not so much even as YouTubers, but just our bucket list. I mean, you decided that you only have 15 more years left of your life, so you're gonna get every fucking thing done as you possibly can.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
and, so what I'll do, right, is as I figure out where I'm stopping in each state, from New Hampshire to Illinois, and then back, I'll post the schedule up on my channel, and I'll post it up on the Live Free and Ham channel as well. So that way, if you're in one of those northern states that I'm gonna pass through, and you want to meet up for a quick POTA, like, let's do that, and we'll record it. We'll make a video out of it. We'll have a lot of fun with it, and we'll put it up on both. We'll put it up on both channels, so that way, we'll throw it up on the Live Free and Ham channel too.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that venture. Even my budget currently is not letting me get there, but heck yeah, next year my big goal, and I think Todd, you share the same one. Dayton. We got to head to Dayton. We got to put that on the to-do list next year.
Yeah, Dayton next year for sure. I do have Huntsville booked, so I'll be down in Huntsville from Monday to Monday. So the Monday prior to the Hamfest to the Monday after, I'll be down there at Montesano.
Cool.
I got campsite number 33. So if you're coming down, feel free to hit me up. We got to do a Live Free and Ham, live or something from down there.
Yeah, remote. Sure. Totally, man. I will, if you even want, I'll ship you, I'll give you my streaming equipment too, so you can fool around with that stuff and do some good live streams from there. I mean, obviously you'll have your own gear, but that'll make it way easier to do streaming from the campsite so you're not stuck in the trailer.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. And then we could get a live stream going outside the camper, because and not for nothing, but this little studio is little.
Camper size. It's a perfect size. It's one person. You can't put more than one. But all good stuff. So yeah, dude. Like I don't know. Anything else you guys want to add to this whole famous thing? I mean, Todd, you're kind of new to this, but in essence, it's gonna get
famous.
Yeah,
I'm just hanging out with famous people, famous smart people. That's why I love
now you have stickers, and once you start giving stickers away, then you become famous. That's basically how it boils out.
Yeah, I have stickers.
Yeah, I need more stickers. Live Free and Ham stickers.
Yeah, I got them. So
I got one left.
Well, then you definitely need more. So yeah, when we do the battery exchange there, I'll make sure I throw a bunch in with you. So I'll make a note to give you a bunch more. So cool. All right. Well, anything else we want to kind of add to this famous stuff? Because as Todd keeps referring, he's not famous, but he is. I mean, he's part of this Live Free. You're infamous. You're so famous. You're beyond famous, as they say.
I am. It's very humbling to know that people were wondering where I was with you guys and not on the Cape. Like I honestly didn't know that until you told me, and I was like, "You're full." I thought you were full of crap.
Nope.
But that would have been cool. I mean, and look, I had to work, and I mean, I got so much going on in my life. It's like I would have loved to gone down there, and just wasn't in the cards this time. But if we do it again, if I have enough time to work it out, I can plan it. So I'm planning on taking. I'm one of the things I'm doing is I'm taking some time off. I mean, I took last summer off. I'm taking Mondays and Fridays, I think, off for the summer. As many as I can, so I can have long weekends and be able to do some stuff.
Yeah, so. And dude, you'll be able to catch Todd's famousness on things like Nearfest, not Nearfest, but on near our Northeast Ham Radio crew. He's always on that, and we're gonna be doing a live stream soon with our Live Free and Ham guys over at Nearfest this year, so that'll be fun. So if you're hanging out there and you want to come by and say hello, definitely you're welcome, and we'd love to have you. So
yeah, that's gonna be fun too. Yeah. Remember our first live stream or the first time we tried to do it?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, what a disaster. I think back on that, I'm like, that was like a disaster.
Well, it was. If you ever want to see that, you can go back in the channel and check that out. I mean, it was interesting to say the least, but definitely a learning lesson for all of us, including Ryan, I think, at the time, because he was doing all of the AV stuff. Poor guy.
Yeah, it was interesting. But anyway, it's all good now.
Yeah. So any last words you want to throw in to wrap this up?
Well, I guess what I would say is, I appreciate the fan base that we have. Thinking that we are famous. I would say that we're not famous yet. However,
famous.
However, right, because of the fan base that we do currently have, that is our foundation, right, and so. You guys are the ones that have been there with us from the start, and I hope that you'll be there when we're done and we decide that we're going to retire from all of this. So thank you to you for loving us and supporting us and being there for us. And while I don't think that we're famous yet, I do appreciate the fame that we do have. So thank you.
I agree.
Paul. Just for the record, we're not ending this until there's none of us left. So it'll be dropped down to 2, and then it'll be 1, and then when the last
one closing the doors.
Yeah, you better hope it's not me the last one, or this is going to turn into a shit show.
That's totally fine, man. That'll make it more famous for sure.
90 years old. All of a sudden, I'm like, how come Live Free and Ham's not been on? They're all dead.
It'll be Live Free and Ham, the Todd Flying Show.
Exactly.
The Bonsai Show.
Paul could not attend show because he's busy skydiving and refuses to get off the ground or out of the air. But I said I totally share that sentiment 100%, Paul, with where you said we love you guys. I mean, our fan base is our fan base, and you guys have been with us from the start or very early on, and we appreciate all you guys, like Paul said, and it's always great to meet you. I will always take the time, and these guys too as well. We'll always take the time to say hello, and thank you guys again for just supporting us and spreading the word about Live Free and Ham, because I've had several people that just come across me. It's like, oh yeah, I'll let people know in Georgia, everybody about Live Free and Ham, and I'm like, feel free, dude. I don't like, they're not going to get Live Free and Ham, but heck, it's about ham radio. So why not? Doesn't really matter. So, we hopefully resonate in your own little local neighborhoods, even though you're not in our own neighborhood there. So we appreciate that. And again, show all the love, as they say. So thanks again for the support. So with that, let's put a little bow on this. So as always, I say thank you again for joining us for Live Free and Ham and our podcast community. We appreciate everybody who's in our Discord and who contribute to the comments in both our YouTube channel and everywhere else. So keep it coming. We appreciate you guys. And if you haven't made that step to join in, feel free. The water's nice and warm. We'd love to have you here. And we truly appreciate everybody who supports the show. And as we always say, we can't thank you guys enough. But if you want to connect with us, you can always head over to our Discord server and join us in the conversation. This episode will air next week. So, you can always head over there, check out the show notes, and, hey, throw your 2 cents in. But hey, if you're a Patreon member, you get this early. So, there is, a incentive and a bonus there. So, come be part of that fun and come help support us financially. As this definitely takes some time and resources involvement, as well as sweat and toil, but we all do it for the love of it, and for love hanging out with you guys. So, head over to our YouTube channel, subscribe there, check out all the cool videos and all of our craziness that we do there. And as always, we want to hear from you. So hit us up on the SMS link as you see the thing scrolling down at the bottom. Give us a call at 978-233-1142 for a good time, as we always say, and you will have a good time, I guarantee it. And you can always support our show. We, like I said, become a Patreon member, get some really cool stuff, be a part of that. Or you can support us at a one-time by using our Buy Us a Beer link. And as always, head over to livefreeandham.com to learn about us, the show, check out our latest swag in the store, and find anything you want about all of our hosts over here. And thanks again for listening. And from all of us, as always, and from the bottom of our hearts, from us infamous, famous people, 7-3.
7-3.